Yeah. Glitch the guarantee. E&E. Put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You get in this place. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy. When it's sick of me, I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers and fill cups of Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through transparency. Heard their self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn a page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Putting fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys E&E, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shave the extras, that's business, starter fees. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they be harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. There ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the BBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Maybe here on this beautiful Sunday. All praises be to the Most High.
Communicate in English easily. Use Grammarly and feel confident with effective communication. Grammarly's instant corrections make your writing high quality and mistake-free.
Conversation, man. But we definitely gonna have this conversation. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is the way
guarantee.
they're gonna use the way
2020 got me seeing so clear.
This is a prime example of it.
Put your boy shit.
The awesome man.
North and Glitch.
The Jose, whatever his name is,
We cool niggas.
Looking nature.
We on the rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Rolling haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin', like we sponsored by Sporting. Ball looking for the fall-in, soldiers all fall in. And we go all in, while we listening to all in. While you all talking, we smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin, glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit. Kill him in vain, that's vanity. Yeah. Do it again, it's insanity. Yeah. Nauseous a real vigilante. Yeah. Killing these kids, that's plan B. Hood is too hot with an antifreeze. Yeah. Blowing on leaves from these planted trees. Don't break the code, that's family. We cutting off legs like amputees. My flow was classic, antique. Yeah. Freaking the beat is in Japanese. Yeah. Ever our cook is a masterpiece. Yeah. When money talkers be Guapanese. Fire and flame mixed with gasoline. Passing my sons, that's a legacy. Study the gang, how they testing me. They dropped the ball, man, that's incomplete. Beat them so bad, make them retreat. All of these gems you can retweet. Play with your boys on repeat. You pay the price with your receipt. Below $1 million, flipping it. Everyday noise get sickening. Trying to flip bills to trillions. Turning these good girls to villains. Lyrics is sick. Butcher shit. Any clip what we represent. Put it on wax like a candlestick. We moving units and measurements. Cooking it up in the lab. We just performing experiments. Since I'm the bomb atomic, these rappers out of my
element. We on the rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Rolling haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin', like we sponsored by Sporting. Ball looking for the fall-in, soldiers all fall in. And we go all in, while we listening to all in. While you all talking, we smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin, glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit.
Glitch, nigga, perfecting my flow. If I'm on the track, then you know it's a go. The guarantee, nigga, and I guarantee treat the gas like the Clippers. You know I'm a choke. Only exotic when blowing the smoke. No one ahead of me. I got the recipe. Do this shit easily. This is my destiny. Sick throwing lobs. I'm dunking on everything. Niggas is sick, and I got the remedy. What I prescribe is extra artillery. Get in my zone and start going berserk. I'm feeling like Clay when he went off for 60. With the bullshit, swear to God you can miss me. Best friends with the money, Aaliyah and Missy. I come from the bottom, to try me is risky. Throwing this K like that bitch is a frisbee. Real talk, let me lock in, show these niggas what I do. Axe Rain, I be standing next to players too. Front line shit, nigga, I'm the fucking truth. Top 6 ever of the 5 in my group. Niggas still bang top down in the coop. Put your boy up and we coming for the loot. E&E shit, we the best, yeah, it's true. This is guarantee, nigga, this is what I do.
Yeah. I already know we about to get to it now. I like bro picking the ball from side to the page. And the foot of the person is the left. Yeah. What up? What's good with everybody on this beautiful Sunday, man? The verdict is in. It's a lot of people that still haven't heard about this case, and that's crazy. That's wild. This case is wild, man. So we got CAYSIN ALISON out of Benton, Texas, right? Put a number 11 in the chat if you are familiar with this case. Put a number 11 in the comments if you're familiar with this case. It's a lot of people who don't even know about this, man. I've had conversations with people. People still are unaware that this is actually happening. This case is 3 years old. This took place 3 years ago. In a town not too far from Frisco, Texas. Not too far at all. And young CAYSIN ALISON, the young man to the left, brutally stabbed the young man to the right, Joseph Ramirez, to death in the bathroom at school on school property with an actual knife. and stabbed him multiple times and did so intentionally. Prior to this happening, him and Joseph got into a squabble in which Joseph kicked his ass. Joseph is known for being a troublemaker, or was known for being a troublemaker, and he liked to fight people, beat them up, and record it as he did so. This happened with CAYSIN. I don't know if it got recorded or not, the previous altercation, but CAYSIN got his ass kicked, to which he brought a knife to school to defend himself, and he is reported as saying and also posting on social engineering via Snap and Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, TikTok as well, where he stated that he would put Joseph in the OR. He wanted to cause extreme harm to him. And this day at school, when they mutually agreed to meet up and have a fight in the restroom, as you can see when you watch the footage that I'm going to play here shortly, they all go into the bathroom. It looked like it was about 5 to 6 of the little Mexican boys, and it was CAYSIN and another guy. They all went in the bathroom. The altercation takes place. The Mexican boys storm out the bathroom, as well as CAYSIN and the other little young white boy. And we see at the end, Joseph Ramirez dragging himself out of the restroom, leaking a trail of blood down the hallway as students are watching this, and collapses in the hallway, where a pool of blood starts to form around him as he died in the hallway of school. Now, how many of y'all are even familiar with this? Right? So he was charged with murder. Then the charges were dropped to manslaughter, and now they've further been dropped to negligent homicide, which is a charge that I've never even heard of, to be honest with you. Right? The hypocrisy is astounding. Now we have our young brother, Carmelo Anthony, on the other hand, who was not at school not on school property, but a school athletic event. It is still not known for a fact that he had an actual knife that could be considered a weapon. And he actually was defending himself from 2 aggressors, one of which was Austin Metcalf, who, after attempting to put his hands on Carmelo and remove him from under the tent, was stabbed once and unfortunately lost his life as a result. Here we have literally the same thing happening on the reverse, but we don't hear anything from the Lamestream media, nor all of these white folks and coon-ass black folks condemning young CAYSIN as a murderer, killer, thug. It is amazing to me how many people don't even know about this story. To this day, don't even know about it. Never heard anything about it. Right? I want to see if I want to find the video. Maybe they've taken it off. I don't know. Right? The hypocrisy of the Lamestream media. Right? Right? My fault, not Belton, Belton. It's Belton High School.
Learning more about his criminal past.
In our top story tonight, we do have new developments this evening. Belton High School student CAYSIN Tyler Allison is now facing murder charges after he allegedly stabbed fellow classmate Joe Ramirez Jr. on campus Tuesday morning.
Tonight, Allison is being held on $1 million bond at the Bell County Jail, and we're learning more about his criminal past. An affidavit obtained by 6 News accuses Allison of shooting gel bead projectiles at a group of people last year. It says he fired from a car as a passenger and hit one woman several times.
So CAYSIN Taylor Allison is a menace. He was a menace in Blinton. He used to run around with basically a paintball gun shooting at random people. Let's go. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page.
He was charged with assault causing bodily injury and was released on bond, but required to have a GPS device. Now tonight, the victim's family is responding and sharing more about Joe Ramirez.
6 News anchor Bailey Bates spoke with his mother, who is mourning the loss. She joins us now live in studio to tell us what was said. Hi, Bailey.
Hi, Chris, Leslie. Amanda Rios wasn't expecting Tuesday morning to be the last time she sent her son off to school, and now she's holding on to all the memories and lessons her son taught her.
I'll miss him every day. Our family is so close. We all love each other.
Amanda Rios no longer has all her children under one roof after 18-year-old Joe Ramirez Jr. was stabbed at school Tuesday and died.
My son goes to that bathroom every day after first period, and this boy knew he would be there. He knew he would be in that bathroom. He went and bought this knife to go kill my baby. And he cut his heart and he took it.
Belton Sr., 18-year-old Kate.
Looks like premeditated murder to me. If this looks like premeditated murder to you, put a number 11 in the chat if you agree with that. CAYSIN willingly, willfully, intentionally purchased the knife and took it to school for the sole purpose of doing what he did to young Joseph. All right, let's go.
CAYSIN Tyler Allison has been charged with murder in Ramirez's death.
There's not enough justice to me. There's not enough.
Rios says the violence was over a girl, something her son knew wasn't right since it's a conversation they've had before.
There's no girl in this world worth taking 2 lives. Nobody is worth that.
Just weeks away from graduation.
This happened damn near 3 years ago. This is a news clip from when it first happened. And to this day, many people don't even know about this story. Oddly enough, 20 miles away in Frisco, the exact same thing happened with our young brother, KARMELO Anthony. Literally the exact same scenario. But it was a young white boy and a Mexican boy involved. And in actuality, CAYSIN was, I ain't gonna say the aggressor, but an aggressor. And I can say he is an aggressor because he has a prior criminal history of running around shooting people with basically a paintball gun, amongst other things. Right? Tap in, walk with us, man. The hypocrisy of the Lamestream media. They're not even talking about this. Where's all the outrage from the so-called Mexican Latino community? All y'all Mexican, specifically, I see content creators, non-content creators on YouTube making videos about my young brother KARMELO, painting him as if he's just this murderous thug, asking questions, why did he have a knife at school? Why aren't y'all asking the same thing about CAYSIN? Why aren't y'all making videos about this? Why aren't y'all doing whole hours-long live streams breaking on down why CAYSIN is a criminal thug who intended to do this to this young Mexican boy? Why are y'all not outraged by this? Why are y'all not campaigning, or why didn't y'all campaign for his GoFundMe to not be shut down? Why are y'all not calling for him to spend the rest of his life in prison? He was just wild stuff, man. The hypocrisy. And if you think that critical thinking, free thinking, straight, masculine black men specifically ain't gonna speak on this, y'all are crazy. Y'all out of y'all's goddamn mind. The hypocrisy. Let's go, man. Rest in the essence to young Joseph Ramirez, man. This is wild, man.
And now Rios doesn't get to proudly watch her son walk the stage.
He loved so big, and he didn't deserve this. He was the greatest son I could have.
Community members have shown an outpouring of support, but it can't get her what she wants the most.
I just need him back. But I'm so appreciative. I'm so appreciative for everything that everybody's done. It's amazing. It's just to know my baby touched that many people, it makes me proud.
She says as Joe taught her, and so
right. Y'all peep that, y'all. Let me remove this so y'all can see. If y'all pay attention, I don't know if this is Joseph right here, but this little dude is throwing up his middle finger. I'm just saying, Now, if y'all just was listening, y'all heard the mother say that her son was, of course, mothers are going to speak on their children in the most positive way and light that they can paint them in, right? But according to what has been being said publicly about young Joseph, he was anything but an angel. He actually was to some degrees a bully who threw his weight around, and I would imagine probably was a fighter, maybe jiu-jitsu or something like that, maybe mixed martial arts, boxing, something. And he would fight people and record the fights. Now, they haven't released any evidence of this as far as footage, but it's something that has been publicly said involving this situation. So although unfortunately the young brother was taken out, he wasn't no angel, so to speak. And when we have these conversations, we have to have available to us all information surrounding the situation so we can make a great summation, or should I say, evaluation of what we're being told to believe about it. Now, the fact that he behaved this way, does that mean he deserved to die? No. So before anybody can try to put those words in my mouth, no. That doesn't mean he deserved to die or be stabbed to death at school. But it does say that he conducted himself in a way to create the environment around himself for something like that to possibly and potentially and in actuality happen. So if we're not going to be honest about every aspect of the situation as far as what we know, there's no point in even having conversations about stuff like this. And over here at A Real Talk Podcast, we're definitely going to keep it 1,000 on all sides. Right? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing and social engineering. Let's go.
So many others.
Love one another. That's what he would tell you.
Love is strong, and they'll move forward together. Well, a GoFundMe page has been created for the Ramirez family. So far, more than $37,000 have been donated. There are also several local businesses that are having benefits or donating proceeds. A tremendous amount of support for this grieving family. Chris.
The hypocrisy, man, is dangerously astounding, right? Dangerously astounding. Man, listen, man, right? Just a couple of days ago, young KAYSIN, 3 years later down there, after being on bond, after being out on bond for the past going on 3 years, KAYSIN Allison was just found. His trial started about 2 weeks ago, not this Monday that just passed, but the Monday before that. Or was it this Monday was it this Monday? I think it was this Monday that just passed. And he has been deemed not guilty of murder in the first degree. Instead, he has had the charge dropped to negligent homicide, which is crazy, right? The fact that KAYSIN had a prior altercation with Joe, the fact that he said what he said via social media, the fact that he went and got a knife and brought it to school with the sole purpose of stabbing him after saying he wanted to put this young boy in the OR. How is it that his charge of murder in the first degree can be dropped when clearly he willingly, wittingly, intentionally sought to seek out to do and cause physical harm to Joe? That would imply that murder one is the correct and proper charge, because that means that it was premeditated, which means he thought about it and planned it out before he did it. Now, he stabbed Joe 4 times. 4 times. KAYSIN only stabbed Austin once after being physically accosted and approached. KAYSIN stabbed Joe wittingly, willingly, intentionally, with the purpose and the intentions of causing him maximum harm to the effect of sending him to the OR, which he didn't make it to the OR because he died on the spot after collapsing in the hallway as students were watching. So just imagine the psychological trauma that has been unleashed upon those students who unfortunately witnessed one of their fellow students be stabbed to death or die as a result from being stabbed to death. The hypocrisy of the Lamestream media. Why aren't they talking about this? Why aren't all y'all people who I see saying the most crazy, egregious, hateful things about our young brother Carmelo Anthony, who in fact was defending himself, who I haven't sure or am not sure if his charges have been dropped from murder in the first degree to negligent homicide, which is a proper charge for Carmelo, if not complete total self-defense. Why don't y'all got the same smoke for this? Why don't we see the so-called Mexican community in outrage and condemning white America for sending money to this young boy for his case? But y'all got all this disdain, all this smoke for us FBAs for supporting our young brother Carmelo. Y'all say we are supporting a murderer, a killer. Why aren't y'all saying the same thing about white America for KAYSIN? The hypocrisy of the Lamestream media, man. And I keep telling y'all, we gotta pay attention to stuff like this. This is cognitive dissonance at its zenith. This is cognitive dissonance at its apex. And when we see this level of cognitive dissonance being displayed by wider society and the Lamestream media, we in trouble, y'all. And I've been telling y'all that this day is going to come. Have I not? My Facebook family, have I not been telling y'all that this day is coming? The ministry of truth is being formed right in our eyes, and we being manipulated and tricked emotionally through these racially fueled events to bring it about. Right now, this boy just was found not guilty for murder in the first degree, which clearly that is what the charge should be. Let's go.
Well, we want to bring you some breaking news right now as a jury has just returned a verdict in the trial of CAYSIN Allison.
Of course, 6 News has continued to stay on top of this. He was charged with criminally negligent homicide. I want to send this straight over to 6 News reporter Sydney Walker. She's been following this trial from the very beginning.
Yeah, Allison faces a range of 180 days to 2 years in state jail or 2 to 10 years in prison, plus a fine of up to $10,000. He had pled not guilty to these charges. The state had the burden of proof, meaning they had to prove the jury Allison was guilty instead of the defense having to prove innocence. Based on the verdict, the 12 members of the jury reached the required unanimous decision and believed that the state proved beyond reasonable doubt that Allison had acted criminally negligent, resulting in the death of an individual, Joe Ramirez. The state presented one charge of murder, but gave 3 separate theories on those means of murder. The jury did not have to agree on which method or any method at all, which from this verdict, we can see that they did not agree on that, finding him not guilty of the charge of murder. After that, the jury then had to consider self-defense. There were 2 elements to that to consider if it was self-defense, to disprove self-defense for the matter. The act was not immediately necessary and the act was not reasonable. Both elements the jury agreed with clearly.
Right? Clearly. So there's no way that the charges should have been dropped, man, there's no way that the charges should have been dropped from murder in the first degree to negligent homicide. Because negligent homicide would imply that CAYSIN didn't have any intentions of doing what he did. CAYSIN, negligent homicide would have been him picking up whatever he got his hands on and defending himself, because he was actually defending himself from physical bodily harm. But no, that's not the case here. CAYSIN wittingly, willingly, willfully, intentionally brought a knife to school to cause the level of harm, to his own words, saying, I want to put him in the OR. And he didn't just stab Joseph once to self-defense, get off of me, I'm not really trying to fight you, but you're forcing my hand, I'm defending myself, boom, get up out of there. No, he stabbed him multiple times. Twice in his ass, once in his back, no, twice in his arm, once in his ass, and once in his back. Which means that Ramirez was trying to get away from CAYSIN. Because if that's the case, he would have got hit up in the front. The fact that he got hit in the back of his arm, his backside, in his butt, pause, and in his actual back, that means that those were defensive on Joseph's part's wounds, meaning he was trying to get away from CAYSIN. And CAYSIN hawked him down, brutally stabbed him, and murdered him. Intentionally, premeditatedly, thought about it before he did it, planned to do so. Well, let me dial back, right? Because I'm gonna keep it 1,000, and I want y'all to understand this, right? The fact that CAYSIN stabbed Joe more than once while his back was turned, that's enough to say that he intended to kill him. Because I would imagine, more than likely, if you are stabbed more than once, it increases the mortality of the situation, meaning the more times you get stabbed, it increases the chances that you will not survive this situation. Although one can pass away and perish from one stab to the heart, as we saw with Austin, rest in the essence to that young boy. He didn't deserve to die either, but he, like Joseph Ramirez, created an environment around himself that would increase the probability of something like this possibly, potentially happening to him. In result, it actually did. Right? Why is the lamestream media not talking about this? Why is so-called white America, along with some of you coons out there, why are y'all not condemning the white folks out there in Benton or Blinton or whatever the city is called? Why are y'all not condemning white folks for raising money for this young boy after he brutally murdered Joseph on school property with a knife, an actual knife that is considered a weapon, meaning it was longer than, what, 5.5 inches. Not only that, CAYSIN stabbed Joe multiple times, more than once, 4, while Joseph had his back turned. Don't you know if an officer shoots you while your back is turned, he's going to be charged with murder? Or is he? Right? Let's go, man. The hypocrisy of the lamestream media, man. And if y'all think we're going to be quiet about this, if y'all think we're going to put the fire to y'all's asses, y'all hypocrite summamas, man. Right? Hypocrites. The hypocrisy is dangerously astounding. Why no smoke for CAYSIN Allison? Why is he not being called a thug, a murderer, a killer? This white boy was reported and was currently on probation at the time of this incident for running around Blinton shooting people with a BB gun, basically, that shot little jail darts, little jail pellets. He was on probation for that. And the white community supported that young brother. Got him down near got him over $500,000 in GoFundMe funds to fight his case, and got him up out of jail. He was originally charged with murder in the first degree. His bond was set at $1 million. His bond was lowered to $175,000, and now he's been excuse me, he's been deemed not guilty of murder in the first degree, but has had his charges dropped to negligent homicide. Meanwhile, we got KARMELO Anthony, who's out on bond, rightfully so. Had his bond dropped from $1 million to $250,000, and I don't know, I'm not aware, to my knowledge, he still has the murder in the first degree charge on his head. If CAYSIN Allison can basically get away with murder, intentional, willingly, willfully murder, of course, our young brother KARMELO Anthony could get his due justice and be charged with negligent homicide, because it was not his intentions to cause bodily harm to Austin. He was not the aggressor in that situation. He did not make threats to Austin. He did not threaten to put him in the OR. He did not have, to our knowledge, a prior interaction altercation with Austin, which led to such events. But yet our young brother KARMELO is being called a murderer, a killer, a thug, a gangster. White folks are calling for our young brother KARMELO Anthony to spend the rest of his young man life in prison. Boy ain't even 18, ain't even made it out of high school yet. He's not a criminal. He's not a thug. He comes from a very well and good family. Structure, order, discipline. His father and his mother is married. His father is a car salesman, if I'm not mistaken, at a very prestigious car sales lot in Frisco. He's an athlete, student athlete, has a job, role model for his younger brothers and sister, pillar in his community, liked and loved by everybody. So much so that he was invited to sit on a rival team's tent, under a rival team's tent at this sporting event because it was raining. He does not have a criminal record. He did not ride around the city of Frisco, terrorizing the city of Frisco by shooting gel pellets at them out of a goddamn toy BB gun. The hypocrisy, man, and we cannot allow that. We can't allow this, man. We can't be silent about this. We got to put the fire to the Lamestream media's ass. We got to put the fire to so-called white America's ass, and you coon ass niggas, and you other Mexicans and other people. Why ain't y'all Mexicans calling CAYSIN a killer, a murderer, a gangster? Why aren't y'all flame roasting white America for putting up money for CAYSIN's legal defense? Right? Telling y'all, man, the hypocrisy, man. Let's go.
This then brought them to the charge of manslaughter, meaning he acted in a reckless mental state after. After they found Allison not guilty of this charge, they again had to consider self-defense, which they disproved again. They lastly
They disproved self-defense 3 times in this situation. How is his charge being dropped if it's not self-defense? Because if it wasn't in self-defense, that means it's premeditated, which means he intentionally, willfully, willingly, and wittingly did what he did. Why is this even a topic of discussion? Why is this young white boy not being charged for the murderer he is? Not to mention, after he left school that day, he went home and kicked his mom's ass. Because unlike KARMELO, CAYSIN was an actual menace. CAYSIN was an actual problem in his community. CAYSIN has a laundry list of altercations and charges against him as a young boy. Right? But yet he's the victim in this situation. The hypocrisy, man.
Considered criminally negligent homicide, which they found to be proven, ruling Allison was guilty. In closing argument, state said that, quote, no part of this was negligence and that Allison had acted intentionally. The defense said that this was not a case concerning murder, but instead an act done out of fear. In the end, the jury did not agree with that charge of murder or the charge of manslaughter, but agreed that Allison had acted in criminal negligence, resulting in the death of Jose Ramirez Jr. almost 3 years ago.
Right? So this also proves what me and others have been saying. This is why it's important to expose you coon-ass niggas for the bootlicking, Sambo that y'all are. Right? How much y'all want to bet that that jury who laid the verdict down for CAYSIN was all, if not majority, white? Oh, my bad. There was no jury in this situation. It was up to the judge to make to lay the verdict down. Huh? Right? But yet our young brother Carmelo Anthony, to my knowledge, has not had his charge dropped from murder in the first degree to negligent homicide. Right? I mean, this is terrible, man. You know, it's so sad that these young brothers, Austin and Joseph, lost their lives, man. You know, it's very sad, very unfortunate. And, you know, my thoughts and my prayers go out to the Metcalf family and the Ramirez family, man. It's such a sad situation when you have to bury your children, right? Even if they weren't the best child they could possibly be, you know, and they have work that they could have done to improve themselves and their behavior. But, hey, man, that doesn't mean they deserve to die. But when you put yourself in certain situations, you know, when you carry yourself in a certain way on Austin's behalf of allegedly being a bully, a tough guy because he played football and had some size on him, sitting up here accosting people who you ain't got no business authority to even say anything to, right? This is the type of situation that you create for yourself. This is the environment that you put yourself in for stuff like this to happen to you. Case in point, Joseph Ramirez, a tough guy. He used to film his fights and put them on the internet. When you carry yourself in that way, you create the environment for a guy like CAYSIN, who ain't going to just take getting beat up and put on camera and embarrassed, right? And to prevent it from happening again, he's going to get a knife and he's going to defend himself in whatever way he deems necessary, which, if not conducted on school property or, you know, would have been well and within his rights to do. But the fact that a prior altercation transpired, and as a result, CAYSIN went online making threats, telling people what he was going to do to Joseph if indeed he encountered him again, that takes it from being self-defense to being murder in the first degree, because he intentionally, willingly, willfully, wittingly brought a knife to school with the sole purpose of putting Joseph Ramirez Jr. in the OR. This is out of CAYSIN's mouth. He said this, which makes it murder in the first degree because it was premeditated. Oh, well, he just meant to stab him. He didn't mean to kill him. He stabbed him 4 times from the back. He didn't stab him in his chest and in his thigh and in his face or the palm of his head. No, he stabbed him in his arm, his buttocks, his neck, or his back. Which means Joseph was trying to get away from CAYSIN. Which means it was murder in the first degree at that point. You know, any other courtroom jurisdiction, this is what the charge would be. But since white folks support their own, whether they're right or wrong, the verdict is not guilty. And it wasn't a trial of CAYSIN's peers who deemed this verdict not guilty. It was judge. And the reason why I'm going to say CAYSIN's representation did that for him is because they didn't want the court of public opinion to have a say-so influence in this situation, which on his part for his legal team in defense is very smart. That's what KARMELO's legal defense team should go for. They should go for a non-jury trial, leave it to the discretion of a judge, right? And get it moved to, or I ain't gonna say it, because keep it where it's at so we can have our same judge over our brother KARMELO, who is a young black woman who's catching all type of fire, threats to her home, threats to her office, threats on social media. This is a judge, man, and she's getting threats from the white America specifically. Her safety is now in jeopardy because she not only lowered our brother's bond, right? But she, like I said, she lowered our brother's bond, but I don't know if there's talks of dropping the charge from murder in the first to negligent homicide. And that is rightfully what KARMELO should be charged with. Legally and lawfully, KARMELO should be charged with negligent homicide, if not self-defense. If this is not going to be deemed complete total self-defense, at minimum, he should be charged with negligent homicide, not even manslaughter. They should take murder in the first degree off the table for Karmelo. They should take manslaughter off the table for Karmelo, and they should give him negligent homicide, which, if I'm not mistaken, is from probation to possibly 10 years imprisonment. I doubt if CAYSIN gets that. I would say CAYSIN is going to get 2 years or less, maybe even probation. Right? This is crazy, man. The hypocrisy of the lamestream media, man.
To the day in that Belton High bathroom. Allison elected for sentencing by a judge, not the jury. So that is the next step, and sentencing will take place on June 16th at 9 a.m.
Okay, Sydney, thank you so much for that report and staying on top of this. We're going to send you back to your regularly scheduled programming right now.
Yeah, but if you want to join us on 6 Plus, we'll have.
Oh, my Lord, man. The hypocrisy, man. So we have lamestream media, we got white America, we got coon America, and we got a lot of other people calling for our young brother Karmelo to be charged with murder in the first degree and spend the rest of his life in prison for defending himself. But on the other hand, we don't have anybody saying the same thing about CAYSIN Allison. And he's guilty as sin. He's guilty. Right? So we should rightfully be calling for CAYSIN Allison to be spending the rest of his life in prison for brutally murdering in cold blood, intentionally, Joseph Ramirez Jr. Now, ask yourself this question, and it's a very simple question, an easy question, obvious question. Why is Karmelo being called a murderer, a killer, a gangster, a thug, when he absolutely is not? CAYSIN's being called an innocent young boy who was defending himself from Mexican bullies. And he actually, in fact, is a thug, a criminal. What's the difference? Now, I'm asking y'all a question. What is the difference? This is crazy, man. The hypocrisy. And I, for one, I ain't going. I'm not going to go for it, man. I'm putting the fire to the ass of lamestream media, so-called white America, and all the rest of you, all the rest of y'all people out there who seem to got it out for our brother Karmelo. If CAYSIN Allison can have his charges dropped to negligent homicide, criminally negligent homicide, then surely Carmelo Anthony can have his charges dropped to just negligent homicide, because Carmelo's not a criminal. CAYSIN is. Facts. If you ride around town shooting people with jail darts, jail pellets out of a BB gun, that is a criminal act. I want you to understand that. That is a criminal act. You want to know why? Because Tamir Rice was gunned down by police for having a toy gun from which no projectiles were shot from. Because they thought he had a weapon. They thought he was criminally in possession of and criminally brandishing, meaning in the attempt of a crime. Right? CAYSIN is a criminal. He should be charged as such. Criminal negligence. That is such an Orwellian newspeak double-think cognitive dissonance term if I ever heard one. Criminally negligent. What does it mean to be criminally negligent? Well, what does it mean to be a criminal? Right? What does it mean to be a criminal? A person who has committed a crime. Right? Okay, so just because you commit a crime, does that make you a criminal? By the definition of the word, yes. Technically, a criminal is anybody who commits a crime. Now, did KARMELO commit a crime? Or was it self, or was he defending himself? But for sure, facts, CAYSIN absolutely committed a crime. Because he, at that point, was he defending himself or was he assaulting Joseph? These are the questions that must be asked. KARMELO committed a crime, but he's not a criminal. CAYSIN committed a crime, but CAYSIN's a criminal. But technically, due to the fact that a crime was committed, our brother KARMELO is condemned a criminal. Now, was what KARMELO did a crime? Did he do so intentionally, willingly, wittingly, willfully? Did he do that? Was KARMELO's sole intentions of why he was there that day under that tent was to stab Austin and kill him? Was that criminal? Or was KARMELO merely defending himself, and as a result, unfortunately, Austin lost his life? Whereas we have CAYSIN and Joseph. CAYSIN intentionally went to school with a knife to cause, intentionally, out of his own mouth saying this, the level of body harm to Joseph to where he said he wants to put him in the OR, which means he intended to inflict maximum damage upon Joseph if he was accosted or came into altercation with Joseph, which he did. He knew Joseph was going to be in that bathroom. He went to the bathroom willingly, with the intentions of defending himself, murdering Joseph potentially, if that's what it called for, which is why he had the knife with him. And he did not stab Joe once. He stabbed him 4 times. I have to keep reiterating that. He stabbed him 4 times. It needless to say, or it goes without saying, that if you stab somebody more than once, your intentions after that more than one stabbing was to potentially, possibly kill them. Because it is already known that if you stab somebody more than once, you exponentially increase your chances of killing them. Because if you're stabbing somebody in self-defense, if you're punching somebody in self-defense, if you're shooting somebody in self-defense, you're probably only going to do it once. But if your intentions is to kill, which is very legally and lawfully to do, if you feel that your life is in danger, if you feel your life is in danger, you have the right to defend yourself to maximum capability, which may result in somebody dying. That is the law. Any person who is a trainer of people to use weapons and get their gun license to carry, will tell you, if you get in an altercation with another person and you have to draw and use your weapon, Your best bet is to unalive them, as y'all say. They will instruct you to do that. They will tell you to unalive somebody. That's what you would be in your best interest to do, because dead people can't defend themselves. Dead people can't tell their side of the story. It's not your word against a dead person's word. It's your word, and that's what it is. Case in point, George Zimmerman, who got scot-free away with murdering Trayvon Martin in cold blood, mind you. And we just are being told by George Zimmerman that Trayvon whooped his ass or put his hands on him. We don't know that to be true. To this day, we don't know that to be a fact. But George Zimmerman is right now running around free after bodying Trayvon Martin. For as far as we know, allegedly putting his hands on Trayvon Martin, or should I say George Zimmerman. Why aren't y'all white folks, or why aren't y'all Mexican folks telling white people that CAYSIN should have fought Joseph Ramirez? He was a coward. He was a cowardly murderer. Why did he stab him? He could have just fought the fair one, right? It wasn't fair, though. There was multiple people with Joseph in the bathroom. I would say they were his crew. CAYSIN was also not alone in the bathroom. If you watch the footage, you'll see about what looks about 4 to 5 little young Mexican boys going to the bathroom. Shortly after that, you see 2 little bird-ass white boys going in the bathroom, which means it was a mutual decision to meet up in the bathroom and get straight to that work, Jack. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Which means everything as a result was intentional, premeditated, well thought about before executed. But yet and still, CAYSIN Allison is not being called a killer, a murderer, a thug. All of which he is, in fact. We don't hear about the Mexican community trying to shut down CAYSIN's GoFundMe. We don't hear nothing about CAYSIN's family being threatened, about the lawyer prosecutor on this case having their social security number leaked, their address leaked, their cell phone number leaked. Why is the judge presiding over this case? Why there haven't been no threats made to his or her life? Why is their personal information not being put on the internet? See, white folks going to defend white folks even when white folks is dead ass to rights wrong. They will support them financially. They will get them the best legal representation they could possibly get. They will get PR behind them to paint them as victims. And let me tell y'all something. Austin wasn't no damn victim. KARMELO definitely ain't no victim. Joseph wasn't a victim, and CAYSIN damn sure ain't no victim. Right? Everybody in all these situations are a part of the situations. The only person who's really kind of exempt is KARMELO, because KARMELO wasn't the aggressor. KARMELO wasn't on bullshit. KARMELO wasn't online talking bullshit about white folks. He wasn't saying racial things towards white folks. He doesn't have a representation, or should I say a reputation in Frisco of being a thug, being a gangster, being a troublemaker, being a trouble starter, being an instigator, being a tough guy. That's not his stilo. That ain't how KARMELO get down. On the other hand, that is the reputation of Austin and Hunter. There is rhetoric from them online that could be of a somewhat racial nature. Why isn't the criminal background of Jeffrey Metcalf being talked about? Why isn't the criminal background of CAYSIN being discussed? Why isn't CAYSIN's whole situation being discussed by so-called white America, by at large, at all? You don't hear white folks talking about this. They ain't saying nothing about this. All you coon-ass, bootlicking-ass, Sambo-ass niggas, non-content creating-ass niggas, y'all ain't talking about this. Y'all not calling CAYSIN a murderer, a killer. Y'all not calling for him to spend the rest of his life in prison. Mexican community. Y'all not condemning the white community for supporting this young boy, CAYSIN. Y'all not calling him a murderer. Y'all not saying he should spend the rest of his life in prison for brutally unaliving one of y'all's own, Joseph Ramirez Jr. The hypocrisy, man. And we got to call this shit out. We got to call it out. Because when we don't say nothing about it, it gets folded into society and gets accepted to where when stuff happened to us, we the scapegoats. We automatically, we guilty. We the bad guys. You know, we're murderers, we're killers, we're thugs, we're criminals. You know, we bullies. But when CAYSIN do it, white boys do it. Oh, it's self-defense. He was a victim. A victim that after he stabbed Joseph Ramirez Jr. to death, he went home and kicked his mom's ass. Literally. Go check it. Go do the reports. Went home and beat his mama up. Because he was a criminal. He was a thug. He was a killer. He's a murderer. He's a menace. He ain't no good kid. What good kid rides around shooting random people with a BB gun? He was on probation for doing this when he stabbed Joseph Ramirez. I want to get some of y'all's opinions on this, man. We're going to have to drop the link. Anybody, everybody but a dead body, you understand me? Y'all are more than welcome to come up here, hit this link, spit your gang, talk your ish, and speak on this. How many of y'all have even heard about this, man? It is amazing to me the number of people who I talk to who can tell you any and everything concerning Carmelo Anthony, but ain't even heard of this case with CAYSIN Allison. Don't know nothing about it, even to this day. And he go to trial for sentencing in June. This case is 3 years old. This happened 3 years ago. What a coincidence that 3 years later, the exact same situation happened in another town, but yet it happened, but it's different, and it's getting all this media attention because it's a young black boy who unfortunately caused the death of a young white boy. And y'all want to say this ain't about race. What it's about then? I beg to differ. And please pray tell, how is this not about race? I would like for one of y'all who have been condemning our young brother Carmelo calling him a thug, a criminal, a killer. Saying that this young, respectable young brother who comes from a very respectable family, his mother and father are married and work their way up to provide a living for him so he doesn't have to grow up like how I grew up, most of us grew up. He's an athlete, star athlete, has a job, no criminal record, loved in his community. How's he being depicted in the way he is, but KAYSIN is not? And KAYSIN is the complete opposite in every way of what KARMELO is. KAYSIN doesn't come from a two-parent home. KAYSIN is a criminal, has a criminal record, a mighty extensive one at that. KAYSIN did take a knife to school with the intentions of using it to cause harm to somebody. Right? The hypocrisy of the Lamestream media, dangerously astounding, right? Boy, I'll tell you, man. This is why I don't believe anything the Lamestream media says. This is why I have the level of disdain and disrespect for them that I have. This is why I call them non-content creators. This is why I call them non-journalists. They ain't got a journalistic bone in their body. And to all y'all white folks out there, all throughout social engineering, calling for my young brother Carmelo Anthony to spend the rest of his life in prison for defending himself, rightfully so, well within his rights to do what he did. Y'all calling for our young brother to spend the rest of his life in prison. But y'all not got that same energy and smoke for KAYSIN ALISON. What's the difference? Why? Why so much smoke for Carmelo, but no smoke for KAYSIN? What's the difference? Right? If you're looking at both of these stories on the outside looking in from what they are, based on the charges, they're literally the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Except one boy is being called a murderer, the other boy is not. Even after the information surrounding this KAYSIN situation has been released to the public, none of which has been said about Carmelo. There has been no tweets, posts on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, any of that of Carmelo ever saying he's going to cause bodily harm to Austin, Hunter, or anybody else for that matter. Oh, but we got evidence of KAYSIN saying that he wants to put Joseph in the OR. He want to put him in the operating room, which means he want to cause some damage, bodily harm, physical, blood, break something, extreme damage. But he's not a killer, though. He's not a murderer. He's a victim. Exactly what he's a victim of. Not to mention, he went home after brutally stabbing Joe to death. He went home and slapped his mama up, which I'm pretty sure ain't the first time he did that. Right? But Carmelo Anthony is to spend the rest of his life in prison. Carmelo Anthony should spend the rest of his life in prison. KAYSIN ALISON should get probation. Carmelo Anthony is a murder in the first degree. KAYSIN ALISON is criminal negligent homicide. I ain't got no more words for it. I ain't know what to tell you. And it's funny how when I was doing shows on Carmelo, it was very funny that a lot of y'all had a lot to say in my comment section coming in. Carmelo's guilty, blah, 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 blah. But none of y'all are saying that KAYSIN is guilty. He's the killer. He should spend his. None of y'all are in my comment section saying any of that. which also proves not only the hypocrisy of the lamestream media, but the hypocrisy of the majority of white America at large. I want to let y'all know something, man. The way y'all see white America lashing out at us FBAs over this Carmelo thing, that is how the majority of white people in America think and feel towards us black folks. Majority. Overwhelmingly mass majority. How they feel about Carmelo. They think our young brother should have to spend the rest of his life in prison. That's what they think about the rest of us. That's how they feel about the rest of us. Make no mistake about that, my black brethren and sister. This is how the majority of white folks feel and think towards us and about us. Those white folks that you think are your friends at your jobs or whatever, yes, this is how they feel for the most part. They might perk at work when in front of us. Oh, but when they're by themselves, when they are by themselves in groups amongst themselves, yeah. And you want to know how I know? Because I've witnessed it with my own eyes and ears. As I'm sure some of y'all have, most of y'all have as well. So we ain't going to act like this isn't a racial issue. We're not going to act like this isn't the sentiment amongst the mass majority of white people in America. One thing we don't do over here at A-Real Talk Podcast is we do not do cognitive dissonance. Right? Right? We don't do cognitive dissonance, man. Right? We don't do it over here. And although two things can be true at the same time, right? When things get to the level of cognitive dissonance, though, that's when stuff gets dangerous. Because like I said, if my young brother Carmelo Anthony is being called a murderer, and he is not, CAYSIN Allison should definitely be called a murderer, because he is. And it's just crazy to me, man. And to think that we ain't going to have nothing to say about this. To think we're going to be silent about this. To think we ain't going to bring this up. And this is why I say to y'all, my black brethren and sisters, my foundational black American brethren and sisters, this is why I say to y'all, we must never let white America forget. We must remind them of their hypocrisy. We must constantly remind them of their history, their reputation globally. We must remind them that America was founded on racism. We must remind them that slavery, in fact, did exist. Not like how we've been told, but much like how we've been told. We must constantly remind them of their brutal, murderous, racist history, specifically towards us FBAs, specifically towards us. We must constantly remind them of that. We must never let up on that. It can never be, oh, that happened in the past, and it's not, no, hell no. Fuck that. We're going to remind you, we're going to remind y'all white folks, every time something like this happening, of y'all's hypocrisy. We're going to remind y'all of y'all history in America. So every time y'all try to play victim, every time y'all try to make it seem like everybody's against y'all, let's not forget that white folks are the poster children globally for racism. Let's not forget that white folks are the main purveyors of racism in America. Y'all thrive off of it. Y'all have commoditized it. Y'all make money off of it. Y'all helped to bring the KKK into fruition. Y'all went on murderous sprees over the past 400, 500, 600 years in this country, murdering black folks just for simply trying to do the same thing y'all did, live. Y'all the ones that bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma, because black folks was doing better than y'all after slavery and during the Great Depression. Y'all have sundown towns. We don't have sundown towns. There's not towns in America that white folks have to worry about black folks murdering them simply because they're white. There's not one, not reported of anyway. White folks have not been systematically oppressed by any group of people outside of white folks ever in the history of this country or the world. Us FBAs have never systematically oppressed y'all in any form or fashion. So we will never allow y'all to try to attempt to make yourselves a victim in any way possible collectively, historically. It ain't happening. Simply because it's not true. Y'all are the global poster children for racism. Systematic white supremacy. Yes. And whether you agree with it or not, you benefit from it. And whether you got just that one or two white friends who are cool with you, please believe when they are amongst themselves, they don't refer to us as my black friend. I'm not saying all white folks. Oh, but the overwhelmingly vast majority of them do. Please believe that. And that is a fact. Right? Smash that like button, click on that subscribe to the page, sharing social engineering. Listen. Bless that cash app. Bless that super chat, super like, super gift, whatever. Supports and interest. Why don't you see any of these coon ass niggas condemning CAYSIN Allison? Why don't you see none of these so-called Mexican content creators, non-content creators? Why don't y'all see them condemning CAYSIN in the way that they are condemning our young brother KARMELO? Why aren't they asking why KARMELO brought a knife to school? I mean, why CAYSIN brought a knife to school? Why don't you see none of these Mexican content creators asking that question? They got their nose all up in our business, though. Asking us why our young brother KARMELO and coming up on our panels, with your feminine ass, emotional ass fueled rhetoric, like a broad, coming up on our panels as we talk about this intelligently, critically thinking and analyzing these situations with facts and honesty. Why ain't y'all coming up on our panel saying stuff about CAYSIN? Why ain't y'all saying that about CAYSIN? Why aren't y'all calling him a killer? Why aren't y'all asking why CAYSIN brought a knife to school? You want to know why CAYSIN brought a knife to school? So he could send Joseph Ramirez Jr. to the goddamn OR. That's why he brought a knife to school. He told you why he brought a knife to school. And he showed you why he brought a knife to school. He bodied one of y'all's little homies in cold blood in front of everybody on camera. Joseph died right there in that hallway in school. As the blood and life left his body slowly, which I'm pretty sure was very painful. But CAYSIN ain't no killer, though. This is what I be talking about, man. The hypocrisy, man. Very unmanly, man. Very soft. Very curse of the Mexican community, man. Especially you non-content creating ass Mexican niggas talking shit about my little bro KARMELO. Y'all ain't got no smoke for CAYSIN. Right, that's some soft ass shit. That's some hoe ass shit. But y'all got all the smoke for KARMELO. Why he bring a knife to school? I'm just saying he wasn't even supposed to be. All y'all just lying. Don't even know what y'all talking about. Yes, Carmelo was supposed to be there. Yes, he was invited to come into that tent. Yes, he was well within his rights to have his knife on him. Clearly, it wasn't a legal weapon. Clearly, it was of the legal limit to have on his person. CAYSIN, or should I say Carmelo, was not on school property. Carmelo did not have disparaging things to say about Austin. He did not threaten to put Austin in the OR. To our knowledge, it's not even known fully 100% that they even knew each other. Or is it? Carmelo does not have a criminal history, criminal background, rap sheet. Carmelo did not ride around the city of Frisco shooting people randomly with a BB gun. He did not do that. Carmelo Anthony did not run home after defending himself in fear of stabbing Austin. He did not run home and then proceed to kick his mama's ass, literally beat his mom up, because that's what CAYSIN did. That's what CAYSIN did. So I keep asking the question, what's the difference? What's the difference between the CAYSIN Allison case and the Carmelo Anthony case? What's the difference? And sit up here and tell me it's not about race when you have to come to the ultimate realization, actualization, what the answer to that question is. You got people up here actually saying that this ain't race. This isn't a race thing. Why ain't it? If this ain't a race thing, CAYSIN's ass would be getting charged with murder, like Carmelo is. If this wasn't a race thing, white America wouldn't have raised damn near $1 million for CAYSIN. If this wasn't a race thing, Mexican people would be infuriated with the white community for supporting CAYSIN. But they are not. They absolutely are not. They're not even talking about it. But they are talking about Carmelo, though. I'm telling y'all, black folks, man. I keep telling y'all, man, HR 1955 is directed at all of us. And I mean everybody in America. White, Latino, Asian, African-American, Black, foundation. It's aimed at all of us. But it's specifically aimed at us, black folks. Because like J. Edgar Hoover said, there can't be the rising of another black messiah or black messiahs that they didn't create. So at every opportunity, we have to be demonized. I mean us foundational black American men. We have to be demonized. We have to be criminalized. We have to be vilified. Our image can always be tarnished. It must always be tarnished. Carmelo doesn't even come from the environment that produces a YN. He don't come from that. You want to know who comes from an environment that creates a YN? Austin and Hunter. CAYSIN. Joseph Ramirez didn't come from an environment that produces YNs. His mother and father were married, are married. They're together to this day. He has siblings. But yet and still, he's painted as being a thug. And in fact, to some extent, he actually was. It is very thuggish of a guy, a person, to intentionally have fights with people and record them on the internet. That is very thuggish behavior. I would even go along and say it's criminal behavior, because it is. Now think about when I talk to y'all about HR 1955, violent radicalization and ideologically based violence, all of which CAYSIN has displayed. CAYSIN was a purveyor of ideologically based violence, which led him to commit an act of violent radicalization. It was said that Joseph Ramirez Jr. would post his fights on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok of him beating the crap out of people with whom he challenged to fights. So this is why we can't paint no picture of Joseph Ramirez Jr. being an angel, because he ain't. But with that being said, young Joseph Ramirez did not deserve to die as a result of that. Or did he? Did any of the people who he fought on camera, did they feel like their life was in danger? I don't know. It could be argued. Did KAYSIN feel like in that bathroom his life was in danger? I don't know. Could be argued. Maybe he was getting his ass kicked, right? Before he was able to get to his knife and stab Joe 4 times. Maybe he was getting his ass kicked in the bathroom and he got to the knife somehow. And once the knife came out, that's when people started, the rest of the boys in the bathroom started running out. Unfortunately, KAYSIN was able to hawk Joe down. Literally 4 times. He stabbed Joe 4 times, man. That right there gets rid of self-defense. If you are trying to get somebody up off of you in self-defense, you're not going to stab multiple times. If your intentions is to move yourself from the situation and to get this person up off of you, you're going to you're going to do what KARMELO did. If your intentions was to get your aggressor, your assailant up off of you, you're going to get them up off you and you're going to beat it. Because anybody will tell you, any type of weapons instructors, any type of close quarter combat, tactical training, self-defense instructor, they're going to tell you in any physical altercation, your best decision is going to be to run, get away from it. Don't engage, get up through. That's literally what they would tell you, to run, right? But if you cannot run, and in Texas, you have a right to stand your ground, which means you have a right to not flee when accosted physically and or verbally by somebody. You do not have to run. You can stand your ground. You can definitely defend yourself, which is what KARMELO chose to do, and clearly what KAYSIN chose to do. What's the difference? Right? The hypocrisy, y'all. I'm telling y'all, man, and I'm telling y'all where this is going, man. I'm telling you, I've been telling y'all where this is heading. This is Ministry of Truth. This is George Orwell 1984 Newspeak. Ministry of Truth. Cognitive dissonance. Doublethink. 2 + 2 = 5. And it's all designed to confuse us, not to serve justice. Because what justice is being served in this case? What justice is going to be served when KAYSIN goes to sentencing? What justice is going to be served when KARMELO goes for sentencing and starts his trial? Who's going to be the victor in the situation? Now think about the things that's going to happen as a result of these things happening for the rest of us. Think about what the rules and parameters are going to be for public sporting events at schools or school-based sporting events on properties that are not school-owned or school property. What is it going to say about security inside of schools? Because kids bringing knives and stabbing each other to death in school due to being bullied, allegedly. How are we going to prevent what happened at KARMELO's situation and at how are we going to be able to prevent KARMELO's situation? How are we going to be able to prevent KAYSIN's situation from happening again? What are the steps that's necessary that are going to have to be put in place and implemented in order to prevent this stuff from happening, period? Now, see, when you start thinking about the answer to that, we're talking about George Orwell 1984 shit, the type of shit I be telling y'all about. And that's the You know what I'm saying? That's the path that a lot ain't willing to traverse down, because it's just so easy to make it about race, which it is to an extent. It's so easy to just get in your feelings and get emotional about it, and allow for your inner racial hatred to manifest. Because I'm telling y'all right now, the people that support CAYSIN Allison is the same people that are condemning Carmelo Anthony, therefore putting white America at large's cognitive dissonance and delusional hypocrisy on full display. Why should we trust them? They don't have our best intentions at mind and in mind and at heart. And I'm talking about the majority of us. I ain't talking about your goddamn it group of white friends who really probably ain't your friends. I'm not talking about your you know what I'm saying, your niche anecdotal experiences in relationships. I'm talking about at large. This is what white folks think about us. This is how they feel about us. It's time that we stop trying to sugarcoat this shit with this whole, oh, it's not like that. Of course, all white folks ain't like that. Majority of them are, though. So much so that to say a stupid, egregious statement like all of them ain't like that is asinine. We know all of them are like, just like all black folks ain't good people, man. A lot of you niggas is coons, Sambos, fuck niggas, bitch ass niggas, hoe ass niggas, soft ass niggas, lame ass niggas, cur ass niggas. A lot of you niggas is. Any nigga that's sitting up here defending CAYSIN, I rest my case. We got them lame ass Hodge brothers, corny ass, lame ass fuck niggas. We got that dumb ass ex-cop nigga, fuck nigga. We got a lot of you Mexican, soft ass Mexican, non-content creating ass niggas talking shit about Carmelo. You ain't got no smoke for this though. Hoe ass shit, soft ass shit, very unmanly. And it's like it's the societal version of prison politics amongst black folks, white folks, and so-called Latino folks. It's the same way in the joint. White folks and Mexicans, Latinos, team up with each other against us. This is a fact. This is an absolute fact, and it's bleeding out into wider society. So to say that there's a black-brown coalition, black-brown unity, that's bullshit. And they ain't none of my politicians. Dude, where's my curve? I don't prescribe or subscribe to politics. I don't vote. I ain't vote for none of these sons of bitches. Never have and never will. So I can tell you why the politicians protect pedophiles, because most of them are pedophiles themselves. And they protect their own. Most politicians are white. And just like in this situation, just like in Austin Metcalf's situation, just like in that white girl who just called one of our young black African brothers a N-word, they stick together and they support their own. So that's why politicians protect pedophiles, because most of them are themselves pedophiles, and white folks protect their own, whether they're right or wrong, guilty or innocent. They protect them, they defend them, they support them financially, especially. Case in point, Austin Metcalf. Case in point, CAYSIN Allison. Right? Yeah, well, there's no proof that the little boy was stealing. Look, babies don't steal, right? Dude, where's my curve? And if you got so much to say, dude, where's my curve? Hit the link and come up on this panel and show your face like a man and defend that shit you saying. Every and anybody is welcome to this. We grown over here. We can have a conversation of a challenging nature like men do. Babies, period, whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they're Mexican, whether they're whatever, they don't have the, I ain't gonna say that. They don't have the willfulness to steal unless they've been shown how to do it. I hardly think that, and I'm going to do a video on this later, I hardly think and believe that that little black baby, that African black baby, Somalian more than likely. I'm imagining that Rochester, Minnesota is maybe a suburb of Minneapolis because they have the largest Somalian population in America. So it makes sense why this African brother, this Somalian brother, was at the park, right? I highly doubt that his 5-year-old nephew was stealing out of that baby bag. I'm going to say he probably was being a little miscreant. Maybe he was being a little curious and digging in a bag, which he probably should not. He definitely should not have been doing. But to say that he was stealing, was he stealing diapers? What, he stealing baby wipes, formula? Like, come on now. Right? Right? Hell no. Right? Because I don't call white folks derogatory names. I don't call them the C word. I don't call them whatever y'all call yourselves. I don't do that. I call y'all what y'all are, white folks. Right? Yeah, that applies for adults and adolescents who have the cognitive ability to assess the situation when they have to defend themselves, like how my young brother Carmelo had to. Babies, we talk about babies who can barely even talk. I don't think that young 5-year-old boy's intentions was to steal. I'm not saying that wasn't. It hasn't been proven to be so. My thing is, if he was stealing, what did he steal? And you're going to have a hard time convincing me that a 5-year-old baby was trying to steal something out of a white lady's baby bag at a park. I've seen it many a times where you just have a mischievous little baby, just curious, maybe needs some more home training on how to not touch other people's stuff. But nonetheless, 5-year-olds will go up in Walmart and they'll just touch stuff. They'll grab stuff. That's what babies do. So I'm just saying, we got to be honest and real about situations now, right? But in the case of CAYSIN Allison, dude, where's my curve? Why is CAYSIN Allison not being called a murderer? This boy ran around Blinton, Texas, shooting people with a BB gun, which he was currently on probation for at the time this situation happened. Why aren't y'all talking about that? Why are y'all not calling him a killer? Why are y'all not condemning CAYSIN Allison? Why didn't y'all call for his GoFundMe to be shut down? Why are y'all not releasing the information, personal information of the judge who lowered this boy's bond after brutally murdering this young Mexican boy? Why aren't y'all leaking the judge's social security number, the judge's address, the judge's cell phone number? Why are y'all not doing that? Why are y'all not talking about CAYSIN Allison's criminal record? Why are you not talking about the fact that after he stabbed this young boy 4 times, mind you, while Joseph Ramirez Jr.'s back was turned, he stabbed him twice in the arm, once in his ass, and once in his back. In order for you to get stabbed like that, that means you were trying to get away from somebody, which means at that point, you were not an aggressor. At that point, that means that CAYSIN was the aggressor. He stabbed the boy 4 times, which led to Joseph dying. He said on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and X that he wanted to put Joseph in the OR. He intentionally went and bought a knife and took it to school for the sole purpose of causing maximum harm to Joseph Ramirez. Why are y'all not calling him a brutal murderer for that? Why are y'all not saying and calling for CAYSIN Allison to spend the rest of his life in prison? Right? The hypocrisy of the Lamestream media and the hypocrisy of white America. And I'm going to assume, although that's not something I do a lot of, I'm going to assume that dude, where's my curve, is a white guy. He might not be. He might be a coon, right? Because you know it's a lot of them. right? And when I say I'm not going to allow you to say the N-word, you can say it all you want. Just if you said in my comment section, you're liable to get blocked, right? Because, you know, why would you want to say the N-word? I don't want to say the H word. I don't want to say the C word. I don't want to say the W word. See, we don't come up with derogatory terms for y'all because we don't talk about y'all. We only talk about y'all when y'all talk about us. Right? When we talk about y'all amongst ourselves, we call y'all what y'all are. White folks. White people. Right? So use at your own discretion. Right? Because there's no way, and this is some cognitive dissonance right here a little bit, right? Well, not confident and not cognitive dissonance, but a little bit of, you know. And this is why I say amongst us black folks, and even for myself, man, we gotta like, nah, fuck that. Right? I'm black. I can say nigga. Now, I'm not saying you can't say nigga if you're white. What I'm saying is there's extreme consequences when you say it. So understand when you say it, you better be prepared for whatever consequences will happen as a result thereof. Most of y'all white folks is soft as fuck. Can't fight and ain't gonna fight. Meaning that if you decide to use that word at your discretion, you're not willing to handle the consequences behind it that's going to come. So use at your own discretion. That's all I'm going to say. Right? Do I personally get offended when I hear white folks say or use nigga? No, I don't. Why do I not? Because I know most of y'all soft as fuck and can't fight and ain't going to fight if in public you said that. And I know most of y'all would never use that terminology in public. I know most of y'all, if y'all see my big, tall, burly black ass in public, the last thing you're going to think to say to my face is calling me a nigga or even saying it in front of me, even if you're singing along to a song. And that's a fact, right? But since nobody want to come up on the panel and spit their game and talk their shit, since none of y'all white folks want to come up here and attempt to defend this in any way, like the hypocritical, right? Like the hypocritical people that most of y'all are, I rest my case. Y'all have proven my point in real time. White folks are some of the biggest hypocrites on earth. Sit up here, claim, cry victim, when y'all are the purveyors, I dare say the innovators and inventors of racism. And now y'all want to cry victim. Get out of here. Every trip, I'm going to remind y'all of y'all's history. Every trip, I'm going to remind y'all of who y'all are collectively. Every trip. Y'all come from racist ideology. Most of y'all have this sentiment that white America has towards Carmelo Anthony. Most of y'all white folks have that same thought process. Right? Most of y'all. Majority. Overwhelmingly mass majority. 95% of y'all think just like the people that feel the way they feel towards Carmelo Anthony in this entire situation. That is the way most of y'all feel towards most of us. Most of y'all feel that we should be spending the rest of our lives in prison. Most of y'all feel that we should still be on plantations. Most of y'all feel that we don't got the same rights and privileges as y'all. Most of y'all feel that way. And I just wish that most of y'all would have the fucking balls, the testicular fortitude, the ovarian fortitude to just say that. But y'all don't, because most of y'all soft as fuck. And that's a fact. With that being said, y'all, smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. I'm about to get up out of here, man. In a second, I'm about to go check out this Sinners movie, man. And we're going to do a show on it later on tonight. Right? All y'all been talking about sending me these emails, verbs. Go see, man. You gotta do a show on Sinners, man. Y'all talk about Sinners, man. You know? And y'all know I ain't gonna speak on something without doing my due diligence. Right? That ain't how we get down over here. Unlike the rest of you non-content creating ass fuck niggas and soft ass white boys talking shit online, knowing y'all ain't like that, knowing y'all would never in y'all life say that word in public because y'all soft. Most of y'all soft is soft. I appreciate that a lot of y'all white boys is starting to get into mixed martial arts and starting to learn how to defend yourself because most of y'all is chumps. Most of y'all is soft. Most of y'all ain't gonna bust a grape at a fruit fight. So I'm glad to see that a lot of y'all are starting to, you know what I'm saying, learn how to defend yourself so you can have some angst behind that undercover, low-key racial sentiment y'all got towards us black folks. And y'all playing right into the hidden hands and the people that really run stuff's plans. Because they don't give a fuck about y'all either, white people. The majority of white people is on welfare and living in utter squalor in America, in rural America. So the fact that y'all still have this same sentiment lets us know as FBAs where we really stand, right? Because although some of y'all, most of y'all are just as poor as we are, if not more, it is just astonishingly hypocritical of y'all to be on what y'all on, but it's very typical as well because this is what y'all be on. Most of y'all have this exact same sentiment towards all of us that y'all have towards Carmelo. Right? Later on tonight, we're going to be talking about Sinners, though. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. Shout out to our young brother, Carmelo Anthony, out on bond, fighting that case. We're going to continue to send our young brother Red. We're going to get Carmelo up to 1 million, 2 million. We're going to make sure our young brother has the best legal representation he can have. We are shooting for our young brother Carmelo Anthony to get his charge dropped from murder 1, murder in the first degree, to negligent, not even criminally negligent, but just straight negligent homicide. That's what we're shooting for, if not complete free. Totally not guilty, which ain't going to happen. Let's just be realistic. So we're going to want our little brother to get negligent homicide. Probation to 2 years tops. That's what our young brother Carmelo should be getting. That's what we should be shooting for. We should be very vocal about this. I want everybody who is a proper journalist, content creator, FBA, y'all should be making videos about this. Y'all should be condemning the CAYSIN Allison verdict. Y'all should be condemning the Lamestream media for not talking about this in the way that they're talking about our brother Carmelo's situation. Y'all should be condemning white America at large for their hypocritical, racist ideology and rhetoric and their cowardly behavior, as in holding themselves accountable when they do the exact same thing that they shun us for. Right? Tap in, walk with me, man. We ain't going. We ain't having it no more. All them days of being, we ain't going. We leave that to you coon niggas. And let me tell y'all something, man. All coonery, Sambory, all that shit's going to get exposed. And all you Sambo ass, coon ass niggas, just like how Harriet Tubman had to do back in the day, we're going to pull you niggas out in the front. All you niggas. Because that's going to be our main thorn in our side. It ain't going to be white folks. They've been doing what they've been doing. It ain't going to be other people. It's going to be these Sambo ass, coon ass niggas amongst us who feel like the white man's ice is colder because they financially benefit from not going against white folks in unison with us. You soft ass niggas, you Hodge brothers, Detective, whatever the fuck dude's name is, Fresh and Fit, Donovan, whatever the fuck his fuckboy name is, Angry Man, Tommy YouTube to an extent, right? And whoever else you fuck niggas is talking the shit y'all saying about our brother Carmelo Anthony and ain't got shit to say about CAYSIN Allison with y'all soft ass, right? We gotta keep exposing these niggas and bringing these niggas, because they the true niggas. Niggas like the Hodge twins, niggas like that, the goddamn ex-cop dude, them is the truth. Them is niggas. White folks love niggas. They can't stand black folks, though. Right? Understand and know the difference, y'all. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering, man. You understand me? Man, don't be letting these white folks, man. Listen here, man. I want y'all to get y'all's confidence up, man, and we get that when we start supporting each other. Because we terribly divided and separated right now, man. We got a huge coon problem amongst us, man. And we got to solve that shit. Because that's going to be our downfall. On the court, across the world, look what happened. Shout out to my brother Smart Super Sick and Glitzy Guarantee. What should I say? My brother John B for this song. Any every day, all day, no day, all. We see y'all later. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me put it on the screen. I'm tripping. You know? Shout out to the FBAs all across America, man. Foundational Black Americans all day, every day. E&E every day, all day, no days off. Let's go.
That's not necessary.
But question it. And a hat.
Task Force, Black Force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's the fact team, then double up the championship belts like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining on all of our black kings. All black everything, we got black tea. All black coffee, man, I don't add green. North give you all you need, no more caffeine. Close down the whole set, no more casting. Remove targets off our back like a black team. We keep growing up the game like a black team. The girl got a problem with me, then get at me. I'm tired to a bumper, now you got a drag queen. You can't stop me, you old as jalopy. This is past me, I got it photocopied. Caught up on film flow, tracks are sloppy. Trying to attack me, you a carbon copy. I see the heat like 10 mini blocks, and I charge for a hook, put me in a penalty box. Man, I'm killing the ops while I look at my watch. All hands on deck like the time on the clock. Task Force, Black Force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's the fact team, then double up the championship belts like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining on our black
Keep
things.
my grass cut low to catch a glimpse of the snakes. Devilish serpents with purpose to steal your cake. Smiling in your face while they got their eyes on your safe. Yeah. Boy, that hatred, man, they make you do some foul things. Switch up on your niggas like the numbers when the Dow change. When I'm with familiar, still a grind like a broke. Take it for granted, should be gone in the proof of smoke. Better put your plan in action, niggas get you used to hope. Formulated the plan, calculated the steps. 2020, my vision, see my way to the check. Get it. Only way is up, I made my way to the steps. Let's go. Look, only way to move is building kingdom shit. Niggas won't make a move, want you to bring them shit. But God bless the child that can hold his own. They want to give you numbers in his cell like a mobile phone. But fuck a cop, any wicked, you this was just fuck. Cause niggas on the edge, there for you to push. Bullets loaded tight up in that magazine. Bring a nightmare to American dreams.
Task Force, Black Force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's the fact team, then double up the championship belts like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining on our black kings.